Hey guys, Tim and Adam here, and we want to welcome you back to Flipperflix. You guys know how much Tim loves his foods, and he got to try a new one recently called 3 Wishes.
Yup. Breakfast being my favorite meal, I was excited to try this new cereal out. It's high in protein, low in sugar, and grain-free.
I thought I saw that 3 Wishes is free from wheat, dairy, soy, oats, corn, rice, and peanuts.
That's right. It's plant-based and gluten-free certified, made with modern-day clean ingredients like chickpeas, pea protein, and tapioca.
Well, that sounds like a feat of food science.
One that took 2 years to develop.
Incredible! So what flavor of these 3 Wishes did you devour, Tim? I saw they had cocoa, cinnamon, honey, and unsweetened.
I went with cocoa, and it was delicious.
With 70% less sugar and as much as 8 times the protein of their decadent counterparts, there can't be anything like this on the shelf right now.
And there isn't. 3 Wishes is now offering our listeners 10% off with the code PODCAST10.
So head to their website at www.3wishescereal.com to learn more.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
Away, haul away, we'll haul away, Flipperflix. That's all I'm doing.
I wanted to join in there at the end, but
yeah.
I didn't want it to go for too long,
Yeah.
you know.
Away!
Shanties are amazing.
I'm
I
sure
know.
we'll get to it through most of the episode
What?
later.
No.
So
Our love of sea shanties has been around for almost a year now.
Knows no bounds.
Yeah. Yo, we're Flipperflix though.
Yeah.
And Tim is here to tell you about
I
the
am.
social media.
Oh, I didn't know it was my turn.
Yeah.
I am Tim, and as usual, we are. I don't know where I'm going with this. We're on social media. Everybody is these days, so we decided to join the crowd, right?
True.
We're on Instagram, Twitter. That's it.
I was like, did we go somewhere else?
Tim, you running us on another platform that we don't know about?
Oh yeah, Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, or Apple, whatever you want to call it. Other
Listen to us there.
platforms. Yeah, wherever you can try to listen to us, we're probably there. If not, you can try to get us there, and we'll try our best. We have a website, flipperflix.wixsite.com/home. I almost butchered that.
You didn't though.
I
I'm
was
proud
Yeah,
of
it
you.
sounded
close.
profesh.
We post episodes every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Besides special episodes or certain episodes we'll push out on other days if we feel the need to, or for some scheduling reason. But for the most part, Thursdays you can check out your podcast app and wait for the drop.
Sit there and refresh constantly.
Yeah, just refresh it over and over again.
Join the
Otherwise,
F5 club.
Yeah, Sam's got a little award show thing she's going to talk about because I couldn't get my brain wrapped around it to explain it for this part. So, Sam's turn.
What? No.
No.
So I'm Sam. I don't think I told you that earlier,
You
but thanks,
didn't.
Tim, for putting that in there because I forgot, obviously.
You guys didn't have me making sure everybody knew each other's names.
Yeah, normally
Yeah,
that's your
yeah.
job, and that's
I've been
okay.
trying to calm down on that.
Either way,
I get called out all the time.
Mhm.
So next week is our 1 year anniversary, which is shocking.
Woo!
So we're gonna have an awards ceremony on Instagram Live. And we're gonna be giving out a couple different awards for the movies that we watched this week. Adam's just gonna keep wooing, and that's fine. That was your cue to woo, and
I was
you're like,
wait,
fuck
you
that.
didn't move then.
What the hell? One of which is the Absolutely Award. That is for the best movie we watched this past year. And then the Over My Dead Body Award, which is the worst film that we watched this year.
Or least liked.
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
that would be the better way to say. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, basically, we're just going to go through and decide what it's going to be. And we'll do a nice flourish, give you the old razzle-dazzle on Instagram Live, and then you'll be like... Just like that. You'll be like that. But to go along with the awards show, we will be giving, raffling off those gift baskets for those 2 awards. So the way to enter will be to review us on iTunes/Apple. And then what you're going to do is you're going to screenshot your review and either DM us on Twitter or Instagram, or I guess technically you could like just mention us on Twitter with the screenshot. That works too. Or you can email it to us, flipperflix@gmail.com, because we do have that as an option as well.
We do. It was needed.
Just in case, you want to do it that way. And then, yeah, we'll be raffling that off based, like, randomly on all the reviews. So we'll get your information down, and then we'll let you know who wins.
Yep.
So make sure you get out there and review us, and then tell us you reviewed us, because who knows if we'll find it otherwise.
And when does that end, Sam? Like, when's the last time they can get it? Like, out 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
And then I'm Adam, guys.
Oh, I guess I should have segued
Yeah, you just left me hanging. I was like, I guess I should say my name.
I don't know. I guess I thought that you were gonna go longer. You were
Nope.
like 2 weeks. Yep, that's it. That's all I
2
wanted
weeks.
to. That's my only plug I wanted to put in there.
It's 2 weeks after the award ceremony, by the way. Yeah. So we give you guys some time.
It'll be like mid-April.
Yes. Give you guys some extra time on the back end after the award ceremony to try and get one of the gifts.
Yes. Well, and I guess I should tell you what's in the baskets too. I'm just trying to keep the mic away from you, Adam.
It's fine.
I'm just kidding.
That's fine.
So it'll include
Woo!
it'll include the awards themselves, and then it will include the movies themselves, and then it'll include like our favorite candies.
Yep.
That's it.
We're really, really.
We're a budget
really
operation,
budget,
okay?
Yeah.
But still, good shit.
Yeah.
At least we think so. So now you can have the floor, Adam.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Woo! This week we watched the Finest Hours, which I have struggled to say the entire week.
What did you think it was?
Finest Hour.
Oh, no, hours. It's not plural.
And the word the. No, it is plural, and there is a the.
You just chopped off the S on the
It's just an awkward word, like, title. I don't know why. Anyways, I picked it for a category called Split the Pod, which I 100% ripped off of Jackbox Games.
What?
What? No.
Bleep that out. We don't want them to know that.
Anyways, basically the idea is I wanted to pick a movie that I think that either one of Tim and Sam is going to like and the other one's going to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like flip it on in our case. My reasoning for this was Sam does not like Chris Pine. She has no reason. She just doesn't like him. She's just always like, Chris Pine. And I'm like, what's wrong with him? I don't know.
He's overrated.
Anyways.
Sorry, Chris Pine.
But my issue is that she loves like these type of movies that like take place, like disaster movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So my backup was, Tim might not like it because if it's too like cheesy or unrealistic.
Yeah.
Right.
So like that was like Tim's my backup on the dislike. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but
I feel like that was pretty solid reasoning.
Yeah.
I could have gone the easy route and chosen a superhero movie.
Oh yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of time for that.
Right. There's 3 more left.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here we are, ready for expectations and spoilers.
Did you do the synopsis?
No, that would help. It's not going to help that much, though. This synopsis is probably my favorite synopsis.
I know.
Yes.
As is tradition.
Based on a true story of the Coast Guard's most daring rescue. I'm done. That was the Disney Plus. Oh, we watched it on Disney Plus, by the way. That was the Disney Plus synopsis.
That's it. That's all you get.
It was 1 sentence.
Well, they didn't want to spoil it for you.
Yes, because it's based on a true story, so you can just look up all of the story without even watching the movie.
Exactly. They're like, why retype it? Why copy and paste?
Right.
Exactly. But yeah, who wants to go first on expectations?
I'll let Tim go.
Oh, all right. I've been voluntold.
As is tradition.
I mean, I do like stories that are based on true events. Ones like
Nope,
these.
you just like
especially.
stories.
Yeah, just stories. But and Coast Guard ones are always interesting because at first I thought we were gonna watch the one that with
The Guardian.
Yeah, The Guardian, and I was like, that movie's amazing.
I love that movie.
But I had never seen this one, so I was like, I'm in. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for it. So I was ready to watch it. I watched it a little bit before we started today.
Yes, we were texting being like, oh, what time do you want to start today? Well, I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, us either.
Yeah, I was, it was definitely one that I was ready to just sit and enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was like, I've never heard of the story, which
Right?
seems odd to me that hasn't been made a movie sooner.
Right.
I don't know.
Or
Yeah.
like, and if it has, it hasn't been like a big budget movie.
Right, like I haven't like heard of it, and I mean, I feel like the name Finest Hours stands out as well, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
Because I can't say it. I can't say it.
So yeah, I was ready for it. I expected to like it a lot. Yeah.
How about you, Sam? We've owned this movie for how many years?
I was gonna say
5?
So we were part of the Disney Movie Club at one point, which is basically like every month you can opt into the Disney movies that you want to like get, and you obviously pay for them. And so we ended up with a couple of weird ones. I say but it's not really weird. It's just like Disney movies. They're like real life stories, right? So we ended up with like McFarlane USA, which we still haven't watched, and this one.
I think that's it.
And I think we ended up with like Alice Through the Looking Glass, which we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
see.
We also have the Maleficents, and we still haven't watched those.
Basically, like, if you forgot to opt in by a certain point, they charged your card and sent you the DVDs. So we were like, so there were a couple of months where we weren't paying attention, and this was one of those. And so we got it a couple of years ago because it
5
came out in
years ago.
2016. Yeah.
5.
So we got it a long time ago, and we hadn't watched it. And so I mean, and it's not out of like spite. It was just like, you know, it's in that kind of like awkward realm of like, well, shit, I'm not sure I would have picked this movie, but now I have it, and it's like never came up on our radar to watch. And I'll be honest, I don't even think I knew what it was about when you picked it, Adam.
Really?
Like, I didn't look at the cover anytime recently, so I had like...
You saw Chris Pine's face and were like, no.
Exactly. I was like, I had like no expectations except that Adam thought I was gonna hate it, and I was like, I don't even know what this movie's about.
Yeah.
I just knew it was like based on a true story, and I'm like, all right, that's it. Those were my expectations.
Okay.
Non-existent.
So I did look at the cover, and I did try and get her to watch this a couple times. Like, the first, I'm going to be honest, the first 2 or 3 years it sat on her shelf, and I was like, I'm not even going to bother. She's going to say no. Then I was like, you know what? We have it shrink wrapped still. Do you want to watch it now? And you're like, nah, let's watch this movie. And then we watched, what was the one with Marky Mark?
Deepwater Horizon.
We watched Deepwater Horizon, and I was like, The Finest Hours? And she's like, no. So, yeah, we actually opened it out of our Blu-ray today.
Yeah.
And then the Blu-ray skipped, and we were like, what the hell? Seriously?
5 hours later.
I know.
Or I guess it should be years. But yeah, I was kind of pissed about that. We opened the Blu-ray. It's not like I put my big fat thumb in the middle of it. Like Disney, you sent me a shitty Blu-ray. I'm mad.
I don't know.
But I will say that this one was on my radar more than like McFarlane. Like
Oh, it was definitely above McFarlane.
I think we'll take McFarlane to our grave and never watch it.
Yeah, White Elephant maybe, but
Yeah.
Yeah, my expectations though, I thought it looked fun. Why I keep saying that. Oh yeah, I thought it looked fun. Yeah. No, I like the Coast Guard movies, like The Guardian, like Tim was talking about. Actually, I watched that over at your house, Tim.
Yeah.
For the first time. And I was like, yeah. And there was a point in my life, there was like a hot second. I was like, I want to try and do Coast Guard. Then I was like, no, I don't. That looks
Right.
like way too much work. Like, way too much.
Who
Like,
needs work?
I was a swimmer, so I was like, oh, I could. Because they do all these like swimming exercises in the Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I could do some of that. And then they like go underwater like with weights. And I was like, I can't do that. So, but yeah, I was excited for this one. I don't have a hatred towards Chris Pine, so I was
think
open
most
to
people
it.
don't.
Yeah, I know. I think you're in the minority in that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Where should we get started?
I think we should start with the fact that, like, okay, the opening scene, he's meeting this girl that he's only been talking on the phone with.
Yes, Miriam.
So, like, is it like a blind date sort of
That's what I was
situation? Was that a
wondering.
thing in the 50s?
I don't
Yeah.
know. It was 1951?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess, like, maybe, like, because he's stuck at this Coast Guard station?
Yeah.
But how do you meet somebody?
I
Right,
know.
like she's like an operator, right? Like that's
Oh.
so like is that how they started talking and he just like one day was talking to her and
Tim
then
connected it
they've
like a
been-
phone operator.
Look at you go.
I know. I'm proud of you, man.
that was my I don't know.
And it was like for like 40. How many days? Like, was it 40 days? Or some? It was. I remember the number
I have no
40
idea.
for some weird reason.
They said
don't remember.
how long they were talking?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh.
14 days.
14.
They said 2 weeks though.
I heard 14 days at one point, and I heard 40 days. Actually.
Well, 40 days is a long time.
Yeah,
but-
if you're chatting to somebody on the phone for 40
Yeah.
days, like you get to know them.
Although I guess 2
Yeah.
weeks kind of is too. Like that's
Depending
a
on
decent...
the amount of time.
Yeah, that's a decent.
Because
situation.
like Miriam knew about his family,
Yeah.
Bernie's family,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh wow, because I feel like he was a little taken aback when she was like, oh yeah, which brother was that? Paul, the older
Yeah.
one, and he was like, right, I told you that.
Yeah.
But-
but anywho, they
He look-
meet and they have their first little datey thing, and then he takes her out on the boat, or he's going to take her out on the boat, and she's like, "Oh, water scares me at night. You can't see what's underneath." And I'm like, you know, sea creatures are a thing.
No,
I get that.
it's just more
Yes.
water.
Yeah, as he
That
says
was
just
so
more water.
ridiculous.
I know. He just was like, oh, there are sea creatures and stuff. No, it's just more water. I was like, I was on team it's more water.
I'm on Team Sea Creatures.
I know.
Faux show.
Yeah. Sam and I have discussed going out on the ocean at night, not on the ocean, or just in the water at night. And she's like, not for me, dog.
Yeah. No.
What about you, Tim? Would you do it?
What, just going on a boat like that?
Yeah, like go like deep sea
Sure.
fishing at night.
Yeah.
I would in a heartbeat.
I do
Why
want to go
not?
like shark fishing at night. I think that.
Yeah.
And
In
also
release, catch and
frightening
release
as
sort of
fuck.
deal.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I went out during the day, and the day before somebody caught a big shark, and I was upset because all I caught was an octopus.
Hey now.
Octopuses are pretty dope.
It was
it-
cool,
it
but I was like,
is.
we caught it, and then he used it as bait.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He got the same
Terrible.
fate as a garbage squirrel fish.
Yeah.
Oh.
He caught one of those. He's like, yeah, it'll work as bait. And then I caught the octopus. He's like, yeah, it'll work as bait.
Oh my god! Oh,
That's
I'm
heartbreaking.
devastated right
Go
now.
Shark fishing, shark swimming, shark.
Shark?
Tim is gonna become an anamorph into a shark.
Would you do the whole shark cage dive thing, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you? You wouldn't.
I want to, but I think I would freak the fuck out.
I think that's the only way I'll ever be able to touch a great white shark is
Yeah,
to
probably.
cage
Or-
dive and
Yeah.
reach out and try to fucking touch it while it's swimming by. Ugh,
Yeah.
I want to do that so badly. I hate water, but I want to do that.
Oh, you hate. Oh, I love water, but
Wait, why do you hate water?
I hate water. I don't know.
he just does.
You
I just hate water.
Is it? Is it
It's
because
just weird because it's like I think it. I don't know. It may be because it's like the world's strongest like element in terms
That's
of
true.
I don't know, just strength, overall power. I don't know. Like the capabilities of water is it's just being out at sea or like just close to a body of water. It's so easy to I don't know be stupid and die. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know how to
that is very
explain. I think
true.
water is just extremely dangerous, but at the same time, It's
Beautiful.
a huge part of the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the water.
I love swimming,
Nice.
but I hate. I don't know. I'm a good swimmer, but I'm a good skier, and I like water sports, but I hate water. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
So back to the movie.
I guess
sorry.
if we were going to.
What'd you think of her jacket? She looks like a bear.
The bear jacket that everybody.
Yeah. I didn't really get that comment. Like it was just a fur coat, right?
Yeah, it's just like a mini
Yeah.
coat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the bear coat lady.
I took it as like most people in the town don't really have something like that, and she has like this
Yeah.
overly mink coat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that because like later on when that one lady like picks her up, like the coat is like not as nice. I don't know. You get the vibe that they have less.
Yeah.
So maybe she just has like extravagant to some degree.
You would think she could dance though. The waltz is the goddamn
my
easiest dance in the
God.
world.
I was like, girl, you don't have to do anything. You just have to let him take you
Yeah.
across the floor. Like this is not
Right.
hard. And she's just, like,
3,
complaining.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's so easy. I don't know. I might be biased because I don't know.
I don't think. I mean, you are biased because you know how to dance, but I also think like it's really easy to just like let someone lead you.
Also, especially if the dude knows what he's doing.
Yeah, which he clearly did.
Yeah, it's one thing if it's the guy learning because he's the lead.
Yeah, if you're learning together, that's when it gets hairy.
Yeah.
Right.
But I want to know what a fathead is.
He's just an idiot.
Because
it's like an airhead.
Yeah.
Somebody who's big-headed, ego.
Is it though? Because her friend was like, "Don't be a fathead" when she was talking about not wanting to go on the boat.
Don't be stupid.
I guess.
I don't know. Tim,
I just thought that was really weird.
You know what fathead is?
I mean, I'm taking it the same way you are. Yeah. It's kind of
just based on context.
Yeah.
It's just such an odd insult. Like, I don't know. I was like, what the fuck? I thought we were friends.
Right.
Girl? Anyhow.
And then they had the amazing proposal.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to reenact it, Sam?
Sure. Will you marry me?
No.
That is legit how it went.
I know. I was just like, what the hell?
I was like, wow, that happened kind of quick and randomly. And then they were like, it's only been a couple months. I was like, that was faster than I thought.
Yeah.
I know.
I thought it was a little bit longer than that.
Well, yeah, I missed the first date. The first, like, time stamp. So I didn't see what month or year it was.
Right, yeah, I didn't either.
It was 51, and then it was 52.
But it could have been, like, November to February.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, damn.
And then I
gotta ask permission.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, I love how, like, they're sitting there, like, kind of squabbling about it. And then he's like, well, I don't want to disappoint anyone, so sure, we can get married. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Also, he mumbled half the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, his character was strange. I wonder how accurate he was to the actual person, but I guess we won't really ever know.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just mumbled so much. And I was like, just speak up. And then suddenly you go to the goddamn freight ship.
The tanker.
Right.
What?
The tanker.
The tanker that just, it goes from like this weird, like quiet mumble to.
Yeah, the noises of the giant ship. Yeah.
I know. It's like. No? Isn't that what a boat sounds like?
Yeah. Nah, the boat sounds like.
Nobody.
I got where you're going with it.
Tim, what's a boat sound like to you?
I know. Rah, 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 rah.
He was like,
I don't
not
wanting
to do it. That was pretty great because I also knew what you're doing and I didn't want to do it. So it was like so much reluctance.
Force.
Yeah.
I will get that Sunny reference in.
Well, there were a couple because then we're on the tanker ship, right? And at this point, half of it's split off. And so the crew's trying to figure out what to do. And that one guy's like, let's just get on the lifeboats. And then Casey Affleck, who's like Mr. Sheepley?
Seibert.
Siebert. Yeah. He's like sitting there peeling an egg. And I was like, what an alpha move. Let me offer you an egg in this trying time.
Pierces it with that. Yeah! I don't know what it was. And
like a
I
piece
just wanted him to eat the egg after that. I don't know.
I know.
I'll waste it.
Well, but he only like half peeled it. I'm like, how are you gonna eat it now?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta keep going. I don't know. That was
there was also
funny.
literally no point to him putting that thing into the egg to represent whatever he was trying to do.
Right?
Yeah.
I just have to say, like, why is there always that one guy in the movie that's like completely against everything I don't know. And then there's, I mean, that's kind of realistic, I guess. But then there's like the captain, the classic, like, captain didn't listen. Well, guess what? Now half the boat's gone.
Yeah, I know. Like, well, the captain's dead because the captain is always dead.
Yeah.
Well,
the captain
did
died.
Tumble and sink, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
he was on the other half.
Because there was two rigs.
How frightening would that be? Like, the guy that like was supposed to go up and tell the captain, he's just like walking, and then,
yeah,
there's a cliff there.
That was crazy.
But I mean, it clearly like survived. The ship did.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm glad they explained it because I
Yeah.
was like,
Right?
because I was like, all right, listen up, bitches. Titanic snapped in half, and then it just went. Psh,
Yeah.
How'd it go?
psh.
Beautiful.
I mean, I think it probably made different noises. It's probably like blah 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 blah. But anywho,
Like a cowbird.
I was like, why is it not singing? And then at least we had that whole conference about why it's not singing.
I
with the
know.
crew.
He
So I
like
was
actually
sweet.
gives the full
I
like
still
TED
feel
talk.
like that's wild how, but it's true story. So it's like
Yeah.
Right.
that's
Something
crazy that
is
it
right
floated
here.
that long.
I know. So I was like, I guess like it, because me and Adam had this conversation during the movie. I was like, I still don't get it, and I guess it has to do with like where it snaps, probably.
Yeah.
And the fact that that section like that handles most of the boat wasn't snapped at a point where stuff broke, right? Like it
Yeah.
was a clean snap before that section.
Like it was probably still sealed off, so like
Right.
not
Yeah.
everything was leaking. That's my only theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it was.
I mean, that's
it was
the only way. I mean, there's probably more explanation to it somewhere, like on a wiki article or something. But that, yeah, we can assume that it pretty much sealed off where it was, and it was just a lucky break. And the guy
Yeah.
was all. I
Yep.
say that without even thinking about it, but the guy was like, "Oh, it ain't luck," and then later on he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess it is luck." But
Yeah, like so the part of the ship, like every boat and ship have something called a keel.
Yeah.
yeah,
It goes from, you both know what it is?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't have to explain it. Yeah, basically if the keel dies, that ship typically sinks.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like that's like general rule of thumb. And I mean there's always the exception, right?
Yeah.
And this is it.
True. This is
But-
just crazy.
I know.
And I also found it like super weird, and I don't know, this is probably Hollywood, but like
Hollywood.
how calm and orderly that crew was. Like we really only see them like freak out when like that one guy's like, I'm gonna take the lifeboat, and he's like takes, which I loved in this scene.
Oh,
He
the-
like
the
takes
Shining
the
moment?
hatchet. Yeah, and cuts the lifeboat, and then it drops and then smashes against the ship. Like, yeah, you're fucking welcome for saving your life, basically.
right.
But other than that, like, they're pretty much business as usual. Like, okay, we'll do our post to keep the ship alive. Which, like, I get, but I feel like there would be more people freaking out.
Those are the best people. If I need a team for telephone,
Yeah.
those are the guys.
Yeah. Because I was like, they're going to fuck it up. Because they showed, like, 30 people saying it
Right?
to each other. And I'm like, there's no way it gets it right. But
There's no possible way it gets down there.
they got
And
it
then
right.
it did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were shocked by that, Tim, but I was.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And then throughout the movie, the ship's going. It has the horn playing, or
The
what?
whistle, yeah.
The whistle. It's a horn.
I know.
But they call it a whistle, and I'm like, SpongeBob, wake the fuck up.
Right?
It's the exact same noise that SpongeBob has. And yes, we've been binging SpongeBob recently.
Yeah.
Mm.
I knew where that reference came from. I was like, oh, nice. Nice
Thank
play.
you.
Nice
Thank
play.
you.
Mhm.
But so when the whole egg scene, I want to bop back to that. Casey Affleck's character, Seabird. I also thought he was being called Seabird, like a seagull, like a seabird,
Oh.
but it's Seabert.
Okay.
Yeah, the directions he gave were like he gave like 3 words, like just mumbled through a few things and like that's what we got to do. And I'm like, I don't know. I did not process what you said. You said some stuff, and I understand the whole like for the rudder.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they crashed the ship into the shore, and I was like, oh, I'm following now.
Yeah, he kept saying that they have to like run it ashore, and I guess I was thinking that they were like
Close to
gonna
land.
run it ashore like next to somebody's house. So I'm glad they like cleared that up. That it
Yeah.
would be like a
Swole.
sandbar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's... Did you get that when they kept talking about the bar, Tim? They were talking about a sandbar?
That's what I like assumed, but like
It is, yeah.
I didn't think it rapidly changed that much, but it makes sense. Like
Yes.
with a storm like that, I didn't think about it in that term because I know sandbars move and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think it like rapidly changed. I just thought it was like the waves were so bad with where it was at that getting out in a storm like that. But I guess it was also because the shore was moving so rapidly with the change in the waves. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a double hazard instead of just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when they call like the team in to to go in on this 12-man boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not expect a little boat like that.
I know. I'm expecting like a nice like tank, not a tanker, but like
Maybe a
A
little bit
decent
bigger
size
than
a
that.
bit bigger, something that could fit like supposedly however many people could be at
Something
the
in
site.
a normal storm that wouldn't look like it's gonna sink. But
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know. Like this is a pretty bad storm apparently. So
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, if it's 12, I'm like, yeah, that's a lot for that boat.
Yeah. Well, and I turned to Adam and I'm like, I guess I don't understand like Coast Guard missions.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have a tiny boat? And why are we taking a tiny boat out in this big storm?
Right.
And where are they gonna put all these people? Like, I was just like, what the fuck is
I
happening?
know. So they mentioned something called pitch pulling.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
tumbling end over end.
Yeah, so what a pitch pull is, by definition, is when there's an underwater obstruction, like a sandbar,
Okay.
and it is the waves are like when a wave hits it, it's flung upward. So like when it hits it, all the rest of the water goes straight up because it hits
Yeah.
the underwater obstruction. What happens is when the nose of a boat hits, right when that hits, it gets flipped tipsy-turvy upside down.
Yeah.
So that's what they were like really afraid of. And,
Yeah.
you know, they're just like, wee, going
Yeah.
right into these waves. And I'm like, Sam's probably having a heart attack right now.
Dude, I almost was like, I can't watch the rest of this movie. I was so emotionally like distraught. Like I was crying.
Were
And
you
I-
really?
Yeah. And I was like, and I think it was because like, I don't know if it's like graphics or cinematography or what it is, but like whenever there's like these shipwreck movies and it's the big wave, like I don't know, it always like it just makes me so sad
Oh,
to see
yeah.
it. And then the music was like super intense, and I was just like, I'm about to just be like, yeah, no, I couldn't finish this movie. I needed to go cry in a corner for 2 hours before I could finish it.
Dude, we watched the movie Adrift. Tim, have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
Also based on a true story where a girl and a guy are sailboating from Southeast Asia to Hawaii, and they get hit by a hurricane and their ship dies. And yeah, after that movie, Sam and I were like, yeah, let's go get a houseboat. And I was like, that's probably the weirdest like reaction you can have after watching somebody get stranded at sea for 30 days.
Yeah, something like
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I want to go get a houseboat. Yeah, that sounds real good, Adam.
yeah, let's go get stranded at sea was basically.
I'm okay with it. How are you guys' sea legs?
I
Good,
don't
I guess.
actually know. Yeah.
Mine are pretty good.
I haven't been on a small enough boat, I don't think.
No, most of the ship, you've been on the cruise ship and then you've been on small boats, but there aren't that many waves.
Yeah.
I
I
grew
don't
up
know.
on a boat. Well, not on a boat, but we had a boat.
Nice.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
learned
did,
all-
didn't
Yeah,
you?
we had it for a long time until I went to college.
I remember that. I don't think,
So-
I never went out with you guys, but,
Did you go to Eastport Lake?
oh, he definitely did.
Yeah, but it's not the best one to go to.
No, it's not.
uh,
Shout out to the Cincy folks.
one of my favorite lakes was Lake Norris. That's where we went quite a bit, and that place is awesome.
That's where a bunch of Cincy people went. We never
Yeah.
went. We never went there. We went to Dale Hollow and Cumberland.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yep. Cumberland's big too.
Yeah.
Pretty popular.
I didn't have a boat. No,
But you have your sea legs.
I got my sea legs.
Yeah, you see, like,
So, you know how in the front of the boat we had that, was that guy a Navy sailor? Like, so the four guys that went on the ship.
yeah,
you got-
they had the Coast Guard, and then I don't know what he was, honestly.
that looks like a Navy.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I felt.
Uniform.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, they told me to come here and bunker down.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was
'Cause they
like,
couldn't get back to his ship. Yeah.
but then at the end of the movie, they were talking about how he was Coast Guard. So he just might have been from a different like
station or
station.
something. Yeah,
Right.
probably.
The dude's in the front seat, right? And I was like, I've done that game. So when I went deep sea fishing in Florida once, it was downpouring rain. We had like huge waves that we were going in, and I was already drenched. So I just sat in the front, just getting pelted by rain. So I was like,
I
aha.
felt bad for that. Like
I felt
the
bad
front
for it,
of
but I was like, yeah.
everything.
I know. And like, shoot, the other guy, Fitzgerald, who was on the spotlight, they
Yeah.
go over one of the waves, and he like comes
He's
back, hold
just
on. He just gets launched.
flying.
And I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude's gone. And then he
Yeah.
lands back on the ship, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
I
another
definitely
thing about
thought he was
that-
dead.
Like they like dive through the waves. You know how you like do that? You dive through a wave and go underneath it.
Yeah, as a human,
Is that
not a boat.
yeah? Is that boat designed for that? It kind of seemed like it. Like with the
It
shape
might
of the
be.
front. Like it seemed like it was designed to crash through waves like that if needed. But it was just seemed so ridiculous
Yeah.
that
that's
it was
what I
like
was gonna
go
say.
under as long as it did.
Yeah.
And then be able to come back up, which to me it's like at one point they do it and you look, and I think it was the first one because the one guy was still in the cabin with the engine and the door
Yeah.
is open
Yeah.
when they come back up. So I don't know. I'm like, I don't.
There
think
might be
they'd
some
still
sort
be
of draining.
running. Well, that or like I feel like that would be sealed because it looks like it was supposed to be a sealed compartment. But then again, you need somewhere for like exhaust and everything to go. But it's like, how does that work? I don't know. It just seems strange to me. Like, how is this thing
I
still
agree.
running? But
Yeah. Well, and especially after it might have been the first one or a couple ones later, they show a part of the ship that's like halfway full of water, right?
Yep.
And I was like, are you guys not gonna bail out that water?
Right.
Like, that seems counterproductive. Like, I don't know.
If Sea of Thieves has taught me anything, one bucket of water takes about a third of the water out
Yeah.
of the bottom of the
Oh,
ship.
there you go.
yeah.
See, so they just needed one bucket.
Also, like, just a couple pieces of wood and a hammer will fix any hole in a ship.
There you go. There you go.
Tim,
Well-
back me up on this.
No, accurate. Yeah, completely accurate.
Well, those probably would have went like super far away because the compass just flew off.
Right? And
Your
who doesn't?
bucket and wood is gone at that point.
No, our magical bucket and wood is still there
Replenishing.
because it's on our body.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Well, I just thought it took way too damn long to get to a sea shanty in this movie.
Oh my
Right.
god! Right?
Because they had fishermen, like, very early on. And I
They
was
should
like,
have been singing them out to sea, like when they first
right?
left. Like, come on.
What the fuck?
Or that should have been our introduction to them at the bar. Like,
Yeah.
jeez.
Right? Or just like had it on like the radio.
Something.
Yeah.
Although, I guess it was super powerful the way they did it because it was like all slow and somber and they're hoping for better weather. But I was like,
Yeah.
I
They
would
chose
have
the
preferred
right.
if you sung this earlier.
They chose the right one
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Holloway Joe.
If you couldn't tell from my nice intro.
It was beautiful, by the way.
Thanks.
But yeah, like they're just like going through, and Sam, I just want you to know this might have been the perfect storm.
No, that movie also emotionally wrecks me.
No,
That's
really?
a good movie too.
Oh my god, it's so sad.
What's your? Wasn't there another shipwreck movie that you liked? That was I don't know.
Yes, I like shipwreck movies.
Sam is a shipwreck movie fan, like where they take place on the ship. I mean, she likes Castaway.
Yeah, is that what you're saying,
Right.
Tim? Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like-
Nice.
Just in general, she likes watching ships go down.
Yeah, like Poseidon. That
That's
was
the one I was
recently.
talking about.
That's not really the same because it's like a cruise ship that goes down. It's more like Titanic. But yeah, I dabble in train movies and shipwreck movies.
It's weird.
Mhm.
Do you like plane movies?
I don't know.
Like, what about these snakes on this motherfucking plane?
I've never seen that.
I
Neither
was
have I.
waiting for it.
I set myself up there.
Oh.
Oh, so they finally get there. Miriam's like freaking out, yelling at everybody, and I'm like, it's probably not best to go because like the Coast Guard is still technically military. Should go yell at like a military officer and be like, send my husband home.
Yeah, but I feel
Right.
like in the 50s it might. I mean, I have no idea. I have no experience in this. But
Yeah,
like in
you
the
were around,
50s,
right?
was it as like super crazy as it is now?
Like, strict?
Like security wise? Probably.
Probably not.
Well,
I
I,
don't
I
know.
think there's also some. I mean, even being a true
Emotional level.
story, there's always a little leeway in like
True.
what happens in the movie
Yep.
and some extra drama added in and here and there, and so I'm always curious about that as well, which is kind of why I want to look up the story later
Yep.
on just to see what all is accurate to what happened. Because sometimes it really doesn't take much for it to be labeled as a true story. It can like be like
exactly
one little part of the movie can be true, and then it's true.
Based on a true story.
Like this entire thing could be completely, like I'm not saying it is, but like I would imagine this one is probably close to accurate just based on how the scenes are set up and how it actually plays out. It feels like a true story movie. It doesn't have like a super solid plot. It just is showing you the events that happened. But like the thing that could be true is, yes, it happened. Yes, they went out and rescued them, and then they just put that all together in a movie the way they wanted to. Like that literally could be the true story aspect of it is just the names, what happened, and how many people got rescued. Like that could be it. But
in this
unlike
case,
that crazy boat that we were talking about.
Yeah. Coast Guard's never used a boat like that before. We don't know where that came from.
Okay, so that boat still exists and is located in Orleans, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean, I expected that to be real. Like, I was just giving an example, but
I know. It's still in perfect. They kept it, maintained it, and kept it in perfect condition. But Disney talked to them about using it, like the actual ship, for this. But they're like, oh, we might destroy it by accident.
No.
So we're not going to use the real one.
Yeah, can we just build a replica of it, please?
Yeah, I was happy that Disney was like, we won't ruin your boat.
Yeah, that was nice of them. Wait, so when are we going to go see this boat, guys?
I'm down next week.
Great.
Not really.
Awesome.
It's cold in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Mass sounds a little cold right now. Let's wait for summer.
Yes.
But I do want to say there were a bunch of survivors.
Okay.
So like, that being said, like the story from the freight. Why do I keep forgetting tanker? Being like, oh well, I mean, 32 guys survived from the tanker. So like, I mean, you have a lot of like people that could tell the story.
That's true.
So
yeah,
you might be able to get them more. But why is it that out of 32 people, only one guy really knows what the fuck to do? That's like standard, right?
Yeah, I feel like it has to do with like
roles on the ship.
Yeah, and part of it's like you have the one guy that clearly knows the ships in and outs. And they showed the new guy, and like everybody kind of has a job, right, on a ship.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, the people that know more about the ship, blah blah blah, what make it run, the captain, whatever, probably make a decent amount more money than the regular crew that is there for certain just basic work and whatever, right? That's
like
how
the
I
chef.
take it. Yeah. Like that dude's just there. That's what he does. Blah blah blah. But
yeah, he was like the head of the engine room. It seemed like.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So he had to know how like everything worked in there versus Joe Schmo in the kitchen just had to know how the kitchen. Sorry, Joe Schmo.
But it seemed like the two guys up top were the navigators.
Yeah, because they knew.
Luckily, you had somebody who knew how to navigate.
Right. I mean, I think that's probably pretty basic knowledge that they all were required to know.
That's true.
That is kind of crazy because the ship snapped in half. So, like, who was on the other end? And
the captain.
I know, but just the captain? Like, there had to have been other dudes over there, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the navigators be over there? I don't know.
It's crazy that two tankers split.
Oh my god, every time they kept saying that, I was like, no, turn this movie off. This is just so sad. It's so sad.
Like,
especially when, like, they were like, oh.
That's gotta be a record.
Well, no. That was like, just them trying to be cheesy and funny.
I know.
But when the one that we're talking about, whichever one that tanker was.
Pendleton.
When they hear on the radio that one snapped somewhere else, they're like, if they're gonna save us, if they're gonna save them, who's gonna save us?
Yeah.
And I was like, no! So
like,
sad.
They were too slow for going around because they didn't go around the bar. They went around the bar, so they didn't save like people. Right?
Yeah, and it sounded like a couple of the people died from hypothermia, which I felt like would have happened with this crew.
Yeah. How are they not icicles? But
exactly.
The guy that plays Richie said this was like the most exhausting, like physically exhausting film because of how cold the water was.
Yeah.
Because they did this in Chatham, Massachusetts.
Oh.
They filmed most of it there.
Nice.
Damn.
I figured they just had like a stage that they just.
No, they actually went to Chatham.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. But,
also, I don't understand. I'm gonna cut you off.
That's fine.
I didn't understand the hate towards Bernie and the whole thing about
Oh.
Yeah.
because the one ship he didn't make it out of the bar the one time, and the one ship I guess sank and it killed 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause he said-
but they can't get out and rescue everyone, and the other dude literally just did the same thing and couldn't get out of an easier bay.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't
Like-
understand the hate he was receiving. I just don't get it.
It's just local hate, because I don't know.
I just figured it the one guy, he had family on that
Probably.
ship or something, or friends or something,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's harboring a grudge just to harbor a grudge, and it sounded like he wasn't there,
Yeah.
the one guy that's harboring the grudge. So I was wondering if he wasn't part of the Coast Guard at the time, or even if he was he wasn't selected for the mission or whatever.
Yeah.
And
totally
so
allowed.
he's well, I could have done it better, you know what I mean, sort of shit.
I wonder if it's because you get that Weber follows all the rules.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why he couldn't save him, because he was just a stickler for the rules potentially.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I don't know.
And maybe Dudesky knew that. Could be.
Yeah. Because they hammer that in, and
Right.
obviously he slowly
Yeah.
lets that off, because they're how many people can this fit? 12.
Right. And he's just no.
That's
Let's
not
go with
gonna work.
32.
Yeah.
And dude, they when they're finally saving people, these dudes just be jumping
Right. I'm okay, I don't know about that.
yeah,
Just
yeah, because
plummeting off the ship.
and it's crazy that they only lost one dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is
Like-
kind of crazy.
Freaking tiny.
Freaking tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny's not too
Come on.
tiny.
Yeah, that was the other part of the movie that I almost was yep, nope, I'm out for this movie, was when the first guy jumped over and he got lucky and they pulled him ashore, and then they started doing it, and I was oh, this is how we're gonna rescue people. Great.
Yeah, Sam's oh, this isn't gonna work. But they ended up getting it down at one point, being jumping into their arms.
Right.
Yeah. I was okay, well, I guess they had enough people finally to catch people. But I was why were
jumping
you doing
it,
that the whole
crowd
time?
surfing right there, man.
Yeah. But that was just horrible, getting smashed into the ship, and then all.
I was wondering how they picked the order. I got
Yeah, I was
that.
wondering that too, because I was the first guy that was down. I was wow, that was quick. He just kind of shimmied on down, huh?
I know. I was Siebert. I understood why he would be last,
Right.
Mhm.
and I figured they'd send that young kid down first, because
I would think
but
so
then,
too.
But then they found out that he was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably held him back. But yeah, I have no idea how they picked, but I mean, all but one survived, and that was just because the ship was coming loose off of the shore.
Yeah.
So
I totally expected Casey Affleck to fart around.
and be I'm going down with the ship.
Not that, but he was gonna fart around, because at that time the ship was clearly moving off the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I thought he was gonna wait just a little bit too long, and then he was gonna get fucked. But
Mhm.
I'm glad that he got off.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that was cool. Makes for a better story. A true
Yeah.
story. A better true story.
What do you think of the line of we all live or we all die? I was that's brutal, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's
They
pretty
were
true.
all thinking it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, you don't want to be the guy that's oh yeah, we'll come back for you.
Yeah.
And then you see the ship go down 30 seconds later, and you're oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, it's kind of a reassurance probably for them too. They're well, we could get stuck going back with that many people, so let's leave them. They probably all had that thought, but then it's well, it could also go down, and then you see it go down right after you get the last guy, and you're yeah, okay, we made the right choice. Regardless
I
of
know.
what happens now, we made the right choice.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if everybody dies in that little boat, and the boat just went down in front of it, you're well,
Yeah.
there was
Then
no
they were
other choice.
then they're oh, we don't have a compass. First off, couldn't you guys have been hey, you guys got a compass up there? Can anybody got a compass?
Yeah. I guess I was kind of I don't know, confused by that. It seems odd to me that they wouldn't have. I know they have the boat compass, right? But I don't know. I just felt
Somebody should have a
I
compass.
just felt they should have a compass, but at the same time, I'm I mean, if you have one on the boat, you don't need one. So
That seems kind of like you would in real life. Well, I guess this was real life, but it seems to me something that somebody would pack that is kind of paranoid about that situation.
exactly
Right.
But none of them had it because they're not that person.
Exactly.
and it was like all rushed last second. Like, okay, we gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, well, it's not like people had time to rifle through shit. I just figured, like, I don't know, if you're a seaman, maybe you have one in your jacket or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But that
Sorry.
could be totally wrong. I know, you're a child. It's fine.
But they're like finally going back, and like they're like, oh, we'll follow the lights on the shore, and then all the lights go out. I'm like, of course they do.
Like, oh
Then
my
then they're all
God.
driving, and I was like, there we go. They're smart, and then they all turn off their cars. I'm like,
Why the fuck did you all just drive to the coast? Like, I'm so confused.
like,
Yeah,
get it,
I
but
would
like,
say that too. I was like, the whole point was to go out there, like, make obviously to us was visibility and everything, and I don't know.
right, like they could have ended up anywhere. They could have ended up at that dude's house.
Yeah.
Like they're just looking for a shoreline.
Yeah. Well, and that was my other question. Like, do lighthouses go out? I thought they were built so that they didn't go out.
They have their own energy.
Supposed to, yeah.
But
So, like, Dudesky that lives next to the lighthouse, there should have been a
oh,
light
he was
there.
nowhere near the lighthouse.
Oh, whatever. Whatever was near the lighthouse, I figured the lighthouse would still be going, but I don't know. I don't know anything about lighthouses. I just figured that would be, like, a good fail-safe if they
Yeah.
weren't power-operated, you know?
Did you guys get tricked though with the last like that slow-mo water scene where like the water's just coming in on them, and I was like, don't tell me that all these fuckers just are gonna die.
Right, like right here, right now, after all that.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting more people to die just in general in this
Same,
movie.
and I think it's only been one that we know of.
Yeah, and so, yeah, when that slow motion water, I'm like, great.
This is great.
Great.
Then they're all hunky-dory at the end.
Well, and I was expecting us to, like, have to deal with the whole sandbar thing again.
But
on the
the
way
high
back.
tide helped.
Yeah, so I'm glad they explained that, too.
But
'cause
they
I was
also
like,
brought it up earlier too, because they were worried the high tide was gonna pull them off the shoreline,
Mm-hmm.
the ship off the shoreline.
Yeah.
So,
True.
like, at least they weren't just randomly being like, high tide, lols. Like, it was brought in earlier. I was happy with that. But my last note, by the way, is the credits have a very depressing version of Holloway Joe.
It pissed me off.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sam was raging.
I mean, I was raging that it took so long to get to Holloway Joe. And then, like, I didn't mind when they were singing it depressingly because it made sense for the scene.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess it makes sense for the credit scene as well. My beef with it is that the Holloway version in the credit scene doesn't even sound like a sea shanty. It sounds like a
No.
regular pop song.
Mm.
And
Depressing.
I'm like
I didn't pay attention to it, honestly.
Oh, it's
Well, it
on.
sucks.
So it's on the soundtrack. If you go to the last song, you can hear it.
it sucks.
It's
Just
depressing.
Just listen to the regular sea
The Longest
shanty version.
Johns.
Yeah. It's more fun.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Sam, you got anything?
I was just gonna say when they roll up to the tanker originally, they like had their spotlight off, right? Because they wanted to be able to see the ship's
Yeah.
light, and obviously the power was out on the ship, so they couldn't see that. But he was like, "Oh, turn on the spotlight," and like the ship was right there. I'm like, "Wow, I'm so glad you turned on the fucking spotlight. Otherwise, you would have rammed right into it."
Yeah.
That was just.
That was your last one?
Right, they
I
were
was
like
like-
listening, and it's like, oh, there it is.
It sounded
Exactly!
super far.
Yeah.
It did.
It was very
But-
confusing. And I also didn't understand how that ship, so when he cut the lifeboat, it rammed against the big boat. Was that because it didn't have like a motor? It was just like
Well, they were also ashore, for one, and you
who
have
was ashore?
like
coaster?
the tanker. It was
Oh yeah.
run against one of the sandbars. And then he was running the boat himself. He was keeping the distance.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, I don't understand. It's like a tiny boat still.
Yeah.
And the waves should still take it. And I guess that's like my biggest beef in general was that like the sandbar is not the only place clearly that has big ass waves because the big ass waves took the tanker in half to begin with. So I guess I was expecting, I mean, the whole movie can't be like, oh, there's a big wave, let's navigate it. So like I get why they didn't show it. I guess I just figured there would be some more issues in the rescuing part.
No, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And my note was bitches be jumping.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I expected more complications there, but maybe they got lucky.
Yeah. Tim, you got anything else?
Nope, I'm all noted out.
I have quite a few actors and actresses on my
Doubt it.
cast. I didn't count, but I don't want to. Anyway, so yeah, let's get to them. Bernie Weber, played by Chris Pine, Sam's favorite actor.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Wonder Woman. Plays Peter Parker in Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's Peter Parker A,
Yeah.
not B.
Not, what's his face?
Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
There you go.
Double J.
Yeah. And then he's in Star Trek. I think that's probably like his big one, right?
Besides Wonder Woman?
Well, yeah, the Star Trek was back in like 2010.
Oh, like what brought him on the
Yeah.
scene? Yeah, I don't know.
And then Hell or High Water,
Mhm.
which Sam does love that movie.
Yeah, he's good.
And then Ray Seibert is played by Casey Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Interstellar.
Is
Woo.
he?
Yeah. He's the son.
Yeah, he's the son.
Oh,
That's
boy.
what, yeah.
I was like, I don't know. All I remember from Interstellar is Matthew McConaughey and
All
Anne
right,
Hathaway.
all right.
Yeah, like the main people.
He was a main person.
I know, but I don't know. I don't think
The people on the ship.
Sorry, Casey Affleck, but I don't think of you as like a big budget. You're kind of like a list.
Ouch.
Wah,
I
wah,
feel bad about
wah.
that. Because I'm pretty sure he won like Best Actor for something.
Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah. Well, he's still a B level.
He's also in The World to Come and Gone Baby Gone.
Gone, baby, gone.
Just like that. Richard Livesey, I don't know how to say his last name, the Richie guy, Angry Man 2.0.
Mhm.
He is played by Ben Foster, who plays Chris Pine's Chris Pine's co-burglar in Hell or High Water. He's the other guy.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, he
he
has
looks-
hair in it.
Yeah, he looks nothing like this guy in anything else I've seen him in.
Yeah.
He's also in 6 Feet Under, that's a TV show.
Okay.
And then he's in Warcraft.
Oh.
He plays Medivh. I don't know how to say that dude's name, Tim. Do you know?
Eve.
Medivh, yeah. It's like the magic dude. The
Ooh.
mage. The magic dude. Huh. And then he is Angel in X-Men 3, The Last Stand. You know, the one from like 2006-ish? Daniel Clough is played by Eric Banya,
Mhm.
who is Hector in Troy. He's also in Star Trek.
Oh.
Yeah. Tim, do you know who he is in that?
In Star Trek? No.
Yeah. He's also the original movie Hulk. We're not talking like OG Hulk from the 70s. We're talking like when they started trying to make movies. He's the Hulk with the dogs.
Okay.
And then he's in King Arthur, the new one. He is King Arthur's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's in Black Hawk Down, just like apparently like so many people are in that movie.
Mm.
And then he's also in Finding Nemo.
What?
Yeah, he plays the hammerhead shark.
Nice.
Weird, right? Miriam Weber, the wife lady, she is played by Holiday Granger. She is in Cinderella, like the new live action one. She's Anastasia.
Oh.
She's in CB Strike, and I'm gonna butcher that. I can never say this one. Anna Karenina. I just feel like it just sounds weird.
You got it this time.
And then she's also in the Borgia.
The bourgeois.
Borgia. It's the Italian version.
Okay.
Bourgeois is spelled with Gious. This is Gias. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, or is it Bourgie? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to continue on because I'll get down a rabbit hole of languages. The Wallace Curie is played by John Ortiz. He's in Kong Skull Island, Silver Linings Playbook, Ad Astra, Final Fantasy 6? No. Fast and the Furious 6.
Nice.
I just wrote FF6. And then he's in your guys' future favorite movie, Peppermint.
Nice. Wait, who was that guy?
He is like the Hispanic looking crewman, seaman.
One of the navigators.
Yes. Andy Fitzgerald, the Spotlight guy,
Mm-hmm.
is played by Kyle Gallner. He's an American Sniper. He's in like 10 episodes of Veronica Mars.
Okay.
And then he's also in Jennifer's Body. It's the Megan Fox one.
Yeah.
That looked weird. I did not want to see it.
I heard it was like people like real. I don't know. I think it's a cult classic.
Yeah,
People
it's
like
pretty
it.
split.
Yeah.
And then Irvin Mask, he is like the dude that sits in the very front.
Mm-hmm.
He is played by John Magaro. He's in like 9 episodes of The Umbrella Academy, which we
Okay.
still need to see. But he's also in Orange is the New Black. But I knew him from First Cow.
Yeah.
We were sitting here watching, like, shit, that's the guy from First Cow.
Yeah.
Which he's also from The Big Short, which we recently watched as well. And then Frank Fonto. He's played by Graham McTavish. And he is currently of all these actors and actresses, he is the most popular actor.
Is he like
on
the guy
IMDb.
that's in like one scene?
He's the bald dude with the broken arm.
Okay.
He is Dwalin in the Hobbit series.
Oh.
He's like, so you got Balin and Dwalin. They were the other two guys that were there when Smaug first came down.
There's a guy called Ballin.
Yeah, he's the white beard one that is like the friendly, knowledgeable one.
His name's Ballin?
Yeah, Balin. Anyways,
Ballin.
half of the names in the Hobbit rhyme. He's King Titus in Aquaman. He's in Preacher. That's a very big show. He's in like 42 of 43 episodes or something. I don't know. I've not seen it. And then he's also in Castlevania. He's Dracula.
Oh.
It's pretty dope. I still have five more people.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. D.A. Brown, the other navigator guy, he is played by Michael Raymond James.
Okay.
I don't know if he has any association to Ray J, but who knows. He is in Once Upon a Time. He's Neil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Peter Pan's son. No, not Peter Pan's. Is that right?
No.
No, not Peter Pan's.
He's Pinocchio, isn't he?
No, he's
He's one of those Disney characters.
he was the main boyfriend. He's the bad guy. He's also the Beast.
Rumpelstiltskin?
He's Rumpelstiltskin's son. Still can't say that name. And then he's in True Blood and Jack Reacher as well. Donald Bangs is played by Benjamin Koldyke. He's in How I Met Your Mother. He's I want to call him a character actor. He's always in like one or two episodes of stuff. He's in How I Met Your Mother. He's in an episode of It's Always Sunny. Yeah, this is the guy that Tim. So this is the he's the captain of the other ship that went out and tried to go around the bar.
Yeah.
He plays Sean in the episode of Sunny where.
Yeah. Surrogate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he
Nice.
also is in Silicon Valley, that's where I know him mostly from, but he's also in Mr. Robinson, where he was in all 6 of those episodes.
Yeah, in Silicon Valley, isn't he one of like the hedge funders or something?
No, he was gonna come on as the COO
Oh yeah.
of Pied Piper. And then Eldon Hanan, he was the young kid.
Okay.
He's played by Keenan or Kanan. I wasn't sure how the EI came out. Lonsdale. He plays Wally West in The Flash. He's in Love, Simon, and he's in the Divergent series. Bea Hansen is played by... She's the wife of the dead sailor.
Yeah.
She is Rachel Brosnan. She's in House of Cards. She is Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh.
Mrs. Maisel. And then she's in Spies in Disguise.
Spies in Disguise. Wait, Tim, I'm so shocked that you didn't say that the Divergent series is garbage.
I held back. I definitely had the thought.
I was like,
Every time
that's
we
like
have
your token
somebody...
line. I was like waiting for it.
That
It
or
didn't
Bird
come.
Box.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
God.
At least we still covered it. I
I know.
wanted to make sure we did.
See, I didn't need to say it.
George Tiny Myers and he's my final guy. It's played by Abraham Benrubi. He's a main character in ER.
Okay.
He's a main character in the show It's Pony.
What the fuck?
It's a new Cartoon Network show.
Oh, okay.
He's in Twister and Call of the Wild.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yep. And the director is Craig Gillespie or Gillespie. Never know. And then he directed I, Tonya.
Oh.
And he also did Lars and the Real Girl, that weird
Nice.
Ryan Gosling film that I've never seen.
Yeah.
And then, have you ever seen Fright Night, Tim?
No.
Neither have I, but he did that. And my random factoids of this film: the tagline ruins the whole movie.
Oh,
32
no.
survivors, room for 12.
What the fuck?
Wow.
How can that be the tagline?
Yeah,
Even if you look up the story and you know that shouldn't like, what about the people that don't do that? Oh my god, come on. Disappointment.
The Coast Guard named its first 153 fast response cutter after Weber in 2011.
I don't know what that means. Is
That's
that a
cool.
ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They named the first ship of its
It's
type.
a bigger ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
cutters are yeah. If I'm correct, they're quite a bit bigger than that little thing, but
153 feet. Yeah.
yeah, that thing I don't even know.
It was probably about 20.
Yeah, no, it's more than that.
I know.
I would have guessed like 40s to
Yeah.
60s, but
Is a baby.
There's a note on why marriage is like required to put in a written request to the Coast Guard.
Oh.
And it's because of like your orders and for financial reasons, which makes sense because when military personnel get married, they get a pay raise.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you know how Tiny was singing "Come On, Quit Rocking the Boat."
Yeah. Another
Guys-
city reference.
Guys and Dolls came out 1 year before that.
Oh,
So,
that's why.
Yep, it premiered 1 year before that, so that makes sense why it was in it so much.
Man, we didn't even cover that Sunny reference.
Come on, get down, down.
So many.
It is.
It really
Couldn't
was.
remember them all.
Okay, so did this movie bust? Go.
No.
You don't think it did, Sam?
People love true stories. That's
Tim,
why.
what do you think?
Yeah, but I feel like I never heard about it.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think
Oh.
it busted, but I don't think it did it amazing.
Like amazing.
The
I agree.
budget was 70 to 80 million,
Damn.
roughly. And the box office was 52.
Oh.
Really?
It did flop.
Yeah, it did flop.
Sadness.
Yeah. The critics
Odd.
rated
Hmm.
the critics rated it at 63%. Audience rated it at 66%. IMDb rated it a 6.8 out of 10. And then Google rated it an 85%. So while Google fails it, everybody else says 2 and 3 people like this film.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we'll put that to the test. All right. So Tim, you were my original, I think you're going to like it fan, but you were my backup. I don't know if you'll like it.
Yeah.
Would you flip it on?
Yeah, I'd flip it on. I like true story movies, especially rescue ones like this.
Yeah.
I think I can understand why it didn't do as well and why I've never heard of it and why everyone's saying two people out of three give it a yes. I think it can be hard to do a true story. And this one didn't emotionally pull me at all. It kept me in it, but and I liked the story, but it wasn't emotionally pulling, and that's fine. There's no reason for it to be. It's literally just telling a story. But I can't say it was an amazing movie, but I
Yeah.
liked it. And
Yeah.
I would definitely say other people watch it, just if not for the story.
Yeah, I was telling Sam, I was like, during the movie, I was like, I don't know. The main thing that might kill Tim is this love story. Because,
Yeah, there was kind of no reason for it.
Yeah, exactly.
she was assertive, and that's kind of a nice little, flip of, not character, but, I don't know. Flip
Contrast.
this, yeah, than what it would normally be.
Yeah,
And he's kind of just keep
exactly.
follow
Yeah.
orders.
Yeah. So, Sam, I'm afraid I'm going to lose this, just like Tim lost Interstellar. Funny enough, we had Casey Affleck in both of these. Because you already said that you were so emotionally drawn to this. Chris Pine, you're just like a Chris Pine did not win.
That is true. Yeah. I would flip it on. And I like shipwreck movies.
I know.
I mean, I know technically this is a rescue movie, but
A
something
ship did wreck.
something about ships snapping apart and big waves gets me whoa, I gotta see
That's
this
kinda
movie.
crazy,
I don't know
yeah.
why. It's so bizarre.
You just
Even if
seeing
it's
all the everything that happens in a row.
yeah, I guess. Even if it's just a trashy shipwreck movie, I'm usually there for it. But I guess I can see why you picked it, because I think for these true story ones, like Tim was saying, it can be hard to toe the line between oh, I want to be true to the story, but I also want to make a good film, and
Yep.
sometimes those contrast.
And you gotta kind of exaggerate stuff.
Yeah, in this case, since it was kind of a happy ending story, there probably wasn't too much contrast, though maybe there was, and a lot of it was over the top and we just didn't know because we don't know the story. But
Quite possibly.
yeah, I mean, I liked it. I'd flip it on. I agree it's probably not the best movie ever, but I mean, I think if you want to watch this type of movie, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's no perfect storm. I was still crying. So, you know, it's the same thing.
I missed all of her crying. I normally catch it.
I was just like dying. I was like, I gotta get up.
But I would also flip it on.
Nice.
So, like I said, I failed.
Okay.
And yeah, I still think it was a good pick for this because there's always that chance, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I haven't been wanting you to watch it for quite a while, so
Yeah.
I will say, like, I was being a little selfish in my pick.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like, I'm not usually one to go for a true story. Like, I am now.
Yeah, you are.
But I used to hate them. So it was a good pick. I don't know why. I just feel like, I don't know. They're, like, meh sometimes.
Dime a dozen.
I don't know about that. But
No.
I don't know that they're always done so well.
Yeah.
So.
That's-
They could
Yeah.
easily be messed up.
Plus, like, my family was always like, oh, well, for a good family movie, let's watch a true story. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that.
Really?
I want to watch, like, a cartoon, please. So, yeah. So, I think part of it is kind of like that. But now, I don't know, as I've gotten more adulty,
Yeah, you adult now.
I've adulthooded. I'm like, oh, these are good. But anywho, you liked it a lot?
Yeah, I liked it. And I would say flip it on if you like shipwreck movies and
Yes.
rescue movies.
Do not flip it on if you like sea shanties, because no.
Unless you want to hear a depressing one.
That's my big beef.
Flip it on if you want to see Chris Pine's what is it, like his starry eyes or whatever. People love his eyes. People love his
really?
eyes. Yeah, it's because he has his eyelashes.
You know. You're like,
Yeah,
I've
I
studied
understand
this.
Yeah. Flip it on if you like the Coast Guard.
Flip it on if you like mumbling.
That's
There's some
true.
of that at the beginning.
Or flip it off if you want to actually hear everything they say.
Yeah.
I would say if you liked The Guardian, flip it on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with Ashton Kutcher and Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember that one.
We watched
but
it together once
Is it
too.
a similar vibe?
It's just similar. It's Coast Guard.
I would say that one's better. Yeah.
Yeah, I would watch
Very
that one
good
over this.
movie. Yeah.
Is that one more actiony?
No,
Yeah.
No.
it's more. It
but
was more drama.
It actually pulls on your heartstrings more.
Yes, it does. We should watch it.
Is it a true story? too?
Yes.
Or
No idea. Oh, I was like, no idea.
Yeah. No, it is. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Interesting.
Now I gotta look
So-
it up because I'm fairly certain it is. If it's
All right.
not, I'm gonna be like, well, then I'm just a shill.
All right, let's flip it for. Let's spin for Sam real quick.
Right.
Oh no, there we go. I wonder what she's gonna get this week. She's pulling her hair over her face. She's so concerned. Oh my gosh, you got straight to video. I think you already know what you want to pick too.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for crash landing with us.
Yep, and we'll get back to you on whether or not we can confirm if The Guardian is a true story, since Tim
Yeah.
is still
Look it
looking
up
that
right
up.
now.
Yeah.
And Tim?
Well, I'll just put in one more plug for the award show ceremony.
Not a
Give Tim
true
some extra
story.
Oh, shit. But yeah. Award ceremony, 1 week.
Make sure you review us and send the screenshots, and we're sorry that we were wrong and that it's not a true story.
Thanks. Bye.